Thank you.
I hope the class has been of any benefit at all to you.
Myself?
Yes.
Very, very beneficial. It's so beneficial. I was talking to a colleague of mine yesterday that before I joined the class, I actually thought legal drafting and legislative drafting are one thing, but I learned that is a huge difference. Pardon?
You thought legal drafting and legislative drafting were one and the same thing?
Yes, that's what I thought before I joined the class.
Okay. Now
I learned.
Now you know they are poles apart.
Real, like they're different. They're different.
Awesome. Awesome.
And it's a very interesting course indeed.
Awesome. You're welcome. And Mr. Justice, welcome, sir. Good afternoon. Harry, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hello, Harry.
Good afternoon, sir.
My brother. How is work today?
I'm fine. Thank you so much, sir. And yours?
Welcome. Fine. How has the class been to you, sir?
It's been going fine. It's been going fine. Although most times I'm always either on the road or I'm busy with a particular
always on the move, collecting money. Let the sentence. Most times
is the money part
collecting money.
It's the money part that is not coming yet anyway, but I'm always on the move. But we thank God.
Hello, Solomon. Good afternoon. Welcome to today's class.
Oh. Good afternoon, sir. I've been struggling to log in. The team is quite difficult for me until now. No, it's not my first time.
You said you have been struggling. Where are your colleagues now?
I don't know.
You are from
Ministry of Justice.
State, right?
Yes.
I have not seen you. Okay, the other day I saw Raplong. He's the only person. We are the rest. I've not seen them. Yeah. Because I added all of you this meeting.
Yes. I don't know. I'll go around their office to check to inform them now.
It's okay. Thank you very much.
Yes,
welcome.
Welcome. Thank you, sir.
Madam Caroline, good afternoon and welcome. Madam Shitim Tua, you have to pronounce your name, oh, madam. Please, I need to learn how to pronounce this, your name. Do you know that the first day you joined the class, I mistook you as someone joining from Lesotho?
I get that a lot, sir.
I'm not. When I tried to pronounce your name, I couldn't.
Yes,
until later I realized you are from Nigeria. I say, Haba.
Yes, sir.
Okay, please help me pronounce your name.
Moi. Hello?
Moi. Okay,
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Moi, you said, right?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Moi. Welcome.
Good afternoon and thank you. It's Nairasha Legal.
Okay, awesome. Welcome. Are you joining the class for the first time today?
I am.
Awesome.
Whenever you see a man
you are welcome. Kindly introduce yourself to the class, please.
Thank you.
Your name, please turn on your video so that we can place a name, a face to your name. Tell us your name, tell us where you're joining us from, why you joined the class, and whether or not you are in private.
Jonas, I'm joining you from Lesotho. Nairasha Legal is a private practice. It's a social legal enterprise, basically. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, it is 10 minutes past 12 here in Nigeria by my own time. We will go straight into today's revision session. We already have on the platform our coordinator, the person of Professor Tony Clinton Jaja. For those of you who are just joining today, Naira Shah Legal from Lesotho and Uren, Professor Jaja is the Executive Secretary of ALDRAP. ALDRAP is Association of Legislative Drafters and Advocacy Practitioners. It's an NGO that is focused on legislative drafting. That is what ALDRAP does. Today is the concluding day of our second week of this lecture, which started on the 13th of January. And the first week we dealt with the history of what is legislative drafting all about, history of legislative drafting, legislative drafting as a distinct area of law, difference between legislative drafting and other types of legal drafting. This second week we have been dealing with the use of ICT
innovations
in legislative drafting, technological innovations in legislative drafting, then guiding principles for research. And yesterday we had a guest facilitator from Brazil talk to us on what they have been doing. So today we are going into a revision session of all that we have done throughout the week, and by next week we'll enter our third topic.
Ebenezer, I can hear you. I was on another Zoom meeting. I was invited as a speaker.
Yes, I saw it.
Today is World Public Domain Day, and it's a celebration of free access to information on the internet. There's a movement in the world. It's called Creative Commons. They are pushing for, in fact, there are many treaties that said knowledge should be freely available. I was invited in my capacity as a former chairman of the Nigerian Copyright Commission. Copyright and public access, it seems to be clashing, because copyright said you cannot allow everyone to have access to your documents only after 70 years, after the author has died, before his work can be freely available to the public. Whereas the public domain movement is pushing that for the sake of knowledge, you should liberalize all these literary works. They should be available online freely for people to access. So we are trying to reach a compromise where there could be some authors could say, okay, you can use my work for intellectual educational purposes free. You don't have to wait until 70 years after I'm dead before you can use my work. So this is where it was. So I posted on our platform that today we are doing a review of all that we have learned for the week. And I listed...
We should be looking in the direction of that office to say, this is the right authority. So if we search the website of the Federal Ministry of Justice, and we look at what the AG or any person acting on his behalf has posted, we say, okay, this is coming from the right authority. Apart from the Attorney General, the next office regarding the laws of Nigeria is the Office of Clerk to the National Assembly, the CNA, the Clerk to the National Assembly. Now, once laws are made and signed, once bills are passed into law and signed or assented to by the President, by our Acts Authentication Act, it provides that those laws should be produced in triplicates, in 3 copies, using vellum paper. Vellum paper is a special kind of paper that is made of animal skin. It does not decay, showing that laws are in perpetuity, that laws are made in perpetuity except where the law has a sunset clause. Sunset clause is duration clause. If they say this law will be in effect from 1st January 2025 to 31st December 2030, that means the law has 5 years or 6 years lifespan. Once it gets to 1st January 2031, the law is no longer in effect. That means the sunset clause has kicked in. So when this law is made in triplicates, one copy is given to the Attorney General of the Federation for gazetting. Another copy is given to the CNA, the clerk to the National Assembly, for numbering and putting it in the Register of Acts. The Register of Acts. Then a third copy is given to the Chief Justice of the Federation, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, for enrollment, the way you enroll your judgments. So now, 2 reasons for this. One is that at no point should we look for the original copy of any Nigerian law and we say that it is not available. God forbid something happens, there's a fire incident at the office of the AGF, or even in their file, or even in their archive, and that place got burnt. We should still be able to lay hands on the original copy of the law. That means we will now look for it in the office of the CNA, the clerk to the National Assembly, and get a copy. If we can't get one there, we should be able to look at the office of the CJN and get a copy of the original law. That is the wisdom and principle behind having triplicates. One is with the AGF, another is with the CNA, another is with the CJN. But when it comes to making public statements as to the law, the content of the law, the availability of the law, it rests on the office of the AGF, the Attorney General of the Federation. So if we are talking authority, we can say yes, the person who made this statement is the authorized person to make the statement. That is on one hand. Authority can also be from the source of what you are saying, the source. For example, the Supreme Court is the highest court of the land. So if there are conflicting decisions of courts on a particular subject matter, what the Supreme Court says should be the final authority on that subject matter. So if you are doing your research and you come across a decision of the Court of Appeal on a subject matter, you do not take it as the final. You do not take it as the position of the law. You owe yourself the responsibility of doing further research to find out whether the Supreme Court has pronounced on this or whether there is a pending appeal of that Court of Appeal case before the Supreme Court. So that when you are citing, you can say, so far, this is what the Court of Appeal has stated on this. However, we await the outcome of the appeal on this subject matter pending before the Supreme Court, which is the final authority. So authority can be in person, office, or document, source. We also know that the Constitution is the ground norm of every country. The Constitution is the highest law of the land. So where there is a constitutional provision on a subject matter, the Constitution becomes the highest authority. Meaning that where there is a conflict between the provision of the Constitution and the pronouncement of any recognized human authority, let's say a professor of international law makes a statement, and that statement contradicts the provision of the Constitution, at that moment the Constitution becomes your authority. Is that clear, please? Hello? Hello?
It's clear, Daddy.
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
Yes,
So we have dealt with the principle of authority. Let's have another principle. Who is going to give us one principle now? Okay, let me look for somebody.
Hello, sir. Sorry, I was actually.
I know. I have taken permission for you already. I know.
Yeah. Yes. Can I go ahead?
Please do. But
okay,
so we have discussed the principle of authority. So give us another principle.
Okay. I don't know, but on the issue of intellectual property, you have to consider that as well before drafting a bill. To be sure, it's not.
You didn't get the question, sir.
Okay.
The question is, we are dealing with ICT, use of ICT in research in legislative drafting.
Okay.
So there are 8 principles to be considered when you are doing research. You do not just speak what you see on the internet. So as a professional, there is a way you have to sift the information you get from the internet in the course of your research. And these 8 principles are what we apply to get the correct information. The internet is littered with information from different persons based on their different agenda. So anybody or push. So it is based on that their motive that they are putting up information. Some people will deliberately twist information and put it up there. So we are now saying that as a professional, when you are embarking on research using the internet, that there are 8 principles that should guide your research to ensure that the information you are getting, which you are going to use to do your work, that information is reliable and is quality. So we are dealing with those 8 principles. We have discussed the principle of authority. Do you now understand the question, sir? Hello, Mr. Justice.
Yes, I do.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
So, Justice, can you give us another principle? Okay, while we wait for him, who has been here for a while? Joyce, you have been in this class for a while. Give us, Mr. Ikuru, should I ask you?
Okay, let me give it a try.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, I think one of the principles is to check security. Security. That has to do with the website where you are doing your research, because some websites are just out there to collect your information without you knowing. So we are told to always check the protocol to ensure that it has the HTTPS protocol at the beginning of the address of that website, to be sure that it's an authentic website that will give us the right information without stealing our own information. And so when you are online, you have to be careful about these security issues.
Awesome. We will revisit it. Okay. Who else? Okay. To save our time, we have the principle of authority. 1. After authority, we have accuracy. Now, the information you are putting out, is it accurate? Okay. Masufa, good afternoon. You have your hand up.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Venez. I wanted to talk about the principle of accuracy.
Okay, go ahead.
You have just hinted, but fortunately you didn't go far about it. From our discussion is that the information has to be 100% true that is being provided on the internet. In your own words, you said it has to be spot on. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now, you know why it has to be accurate? You are the expert here. People believe what you say because you have presented yourself to be an expert. Do you understand it? So before, to even protect your image, before you give out any information, you have to ensure that that information is accurate. Now, back to what I said earlier about people and their agenda. There are NGOs that are always on the prowl. They are on the internet. Let me rephrase it. There are a lot of NGOs on the internet doing research, doing work in different subject areas. Now, these NGOs operate by funding. They receive funding. So, you as an NGO, you cannot, when you get a grant, you cannot put out information that contradicts the position of your donor agency or your funder. Do you get it? So, you now see, particularly when it comes to numbers, you now see people manipulating numbers to meet whatever preconceived motive they have or whatever agenda they are pursuing. For example, in Nigeria, we are dealing with out-of-school children more in the north. We are dealing with cases of IDPs, the internally displaced persons due to Boko Haram and insecurity. Now, this becomes an opportunity for NGOs who come in for intervention, and they begin to spin numbers. So you do not just pick up any number you see on the internet and use. You need to check whether this number is correct. Now you are dealing with statistics. Nigeria has a government agency known as National Bureau of Statistics. So that means in terms of number of statistics, if you want to know the number of out-of-school children in Nigeria, you do not rely on ABC NGO that is doing the work on out-of-school children. Rather, you should rely on what NBC gives you as the number, because that is number one. An authority is the right person, is the right agency that is authorized to manage statistics and data in Nigeria. Then two, they are reliable, because before they put out any figure, I want to believe it would have gone through quality assurance to ensure that this is the accurate position. So if you are dealing with number, this is to reemphasize what I said about authority. I talked about the law. If you are citing any law and you want to know the provisions, or you want to know the accurate law, even if you Google some bills, some laws in Nigeria, on the internet rather, they will bring out the bill for you. Now you need to know that there's a difference between a bill and a law or an act. The bill is the proposal, the act is the law that has been signed by the president or the governor. So, if you are doing your research and you search on any subject matter and they bring out a bill, you should know that no, you shouldn't be dealing with that bill. Apart from the AGN, AGF, and the CNA, and the CJN, there is an NGO in Nigeria called PLAC. PLAC is a reliable NGO so far that brings out accurate information when it comes to the position of the law, when it comes to laws that have been passed by the National Assembly. In fact, oftentimes when I search for a particular law, it is always on PLAC website that I get it. PLAC will just reproduce the law the way it is passed, the way with the authentication page where the president signed. So the information you are giving out has to come from the right authority, one. Two, that information has to be accurate. So we have taken authority, we have taken accuracy. Number three. Yes, Joyce, welcome back. You understood our question, Joyce, right? Hello?
My apologies. I think I got disconnected a bit.
Yes,
Unless
that's why I
the
said
same
welcome
question
back.
about the 8 guidelines.
Yes.
Okay, I don't know if maybe someone talked about objectivity while I was not
No.
on.
Nobody has talked about
Yes,
objectivity.
another guideline is objectivity, where it was said that the information has to be backed up by the facts or figures, that it should not be a personal opinion.
Yes.
Yes,
Exactly.
thank you.
You're welcome. Now, the information has to be objective. The information will not be serving a particular interest group. It shouldn't be serving the interest of a particular section or a particular religion or a particular ethnic group. The information should not be colored by tribe. So the information has to be objective, with no personal interest of the author being protected or being sought to be achieved. So if you look at the information and you see it may be ethnicity, or it is colored with tribalism, or it is colored with religion, or it is even colored with political affiliation, or it is colored with professional clout, so you disregard that information, regardless of who brought it up. The information has to be objective. You should just state the obvious facts and leave it there for you, the researcher, to make with the information what you deem fit or necessary. So the information should not be pushing a personal opinion or a personal agenda. That's another principle you have to apply. Now, mind you, all these 8 principles, you are applying it on the same information, the same research you are doing. Once you pick up a document, you should know this document, is it coming from the right source, that's authority? Is the information here accurate? That's accuracy. Then we just talked about objectivity now. Is this information objective? Now you should know when an authority figure or occupant of an office is speaking in his personal capacity. So if, for example, there's an article Dr. Jaja put up on what the opinion of the Attorney General of Ekiti State on a matter. Please just read that article. He headed it, "Teacher, don't teach me nonsense." It is on the platform. After this class, find time to read that article. It will help you understand what you are saying here. So, if you should be able to know when an authority figure is putting out a statement in his capacity as authority, or where an authority figure is putting out a statement in his individual, in his capacity, in his personal capacity. So that will help you to distinguish. So let us run. They are warning us about our time. Can we have a 4th one? We have dealt with 3. We have dealt with authority, accuracy, objectivity. So the next one, who will give us one again? Who?
About currency.
Thank you, currency. Thank you, Justice. Currency.
So, now, okay.
Yes, go ahead. Can you tell us about currency?
So why drafting a bill? The drafter has to put into consideration the fact that whatever source he or she is relying on is still in vogue. It's not something that is now mundane or archaic, or it has not been changed. So you have to bear that in mind to ensure that source is still in vogue. Yes.
Yes. The information has to be current. The information you are relying on has to be current. I am going to give an example. I am doing a case on, I'm doing a research, preparing for a case that will come up on recovery of premises. Now, the textbook I am using, as I open the textbook, as I picked the textbook, I checked the year it was published. It was published in 2014. So as soon as I saw it, I knew something was wrong, because there was a new Recovery of Premises Act 2015, which is still the current law for tenants in Abuja, regulating recovery of premises in the FCT. So the book I picked was published in 2014. Then I read a bit, of course, the principles of law in general, but when I read a bit, it's relying, the author relied on Recovery of Premises Act 1990. So if you do not know what I know about currency, you will be reading that book and be relying on a 1990 law, which is, of course, repealed, whereas there is a 2015 law, which is the current law. So the information you are relying on has to be current. You don't just pick it because you saw it on the internet and it is on the subject matter. Is it a current position of the law? Is it the current situation? Is it the current facts? Does it reflect the state of affairs at the moment? So the information has to be current. Thank you, Henry, for bringing it up. Next person, we have done accuracy, we have done authority, accuracy, objectivity, currency. We have 4 more to go. Okay, security. Mr. Oscar gave us security. So 3 more to go. 3 more to go. Yes, sir, you have your hand up. Go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Good evening. We have good day. We have coverage. Yes, sir. And yes. The coverage, it was said that when you research on the internet, you must discover just how much of the territory the information you get covers.
Yes, the scope of that information, the scope of the law you are relying on. Is it covering the entire nation? Is it covering a particular geographical location? Is it covering a senatorial district? Is it applicable only to a state? Is it applicable to only uniformed men, military personnel, and not civilians? So you must know what is the scope of this law? What is the coverage? Now, we have a law here called Highway Act. That law is applicable to highways, regardless of where that federal highway, regardless of where it is located in the country. That federal highway, some of them pass through the states. There are not if it's a federal road, yes, but it is passing through a state. So you should know that this law applies to federal roads only. So if you are drafting, you must contemplate coverage. We also have some laws covering for military men. The law is not applicable to you as a civilian. So if you are drafting, you should factor that. What is the coverage of this law? So we have 2 more to go. We have done authority, we have done accuracy, we have done currency, we have done coverage, we have done objectivity, we have done security. So we have 2 more to go. Who can remember them? Okay, let me save us time. We will soon be logged out. Reliability. So who can tell us something about reliability? Reliability. Hello? Yes, Mr. Emmanuel, go ahead, please. Your hand is up, Mr. Emmanuel.
Yes. With my little understanding about the reliability of any proposed bill or proposed drafting, in fact that the objective of the subject matter of which a drafter is concentrating on should be a kind of a subject matter of which every reasonable person that is reliable, that is trustworthy, that is in consonance with the social life of which it must be trust, and it must have a cogent actualization of the affirmative, in the sense that it should be dependent on, and it should not be misleading. It should not be a kind of proposed motion which is going to mislead the public, which is going to mislead the members of the society. It should be a kind of a subject matter which must be which person must be can count on, of which person can count on and make a reference. And after a lot of the investigation and discover that the subject matter is authentic and trustworthy in the aspect of the in relation to the proposed bill. That's the little of my understanding, sir.
Internet logged me out. Okay, Mr. Emmanuel.
Okay, sir.
Yes. So I don't think you were on the right trajectory. We are dealing with the 8 principles to apply when you are doing a research using the internet. So we are saying that reliability, the information has to be reliable, the source has to be reliable. Now, I gave an example when we talked about authority. I cited an example of an NGO called PLAC in Nigeria. The PLAC is not the Attorney General of the Federation. PLAC is not the CNA. PLAC is not the AGF. But PLAC posts reliable information on their website. So if I did not get a particular legislation from the website of the AGF, and I got it from the website of PLAC, PLAC has proven to be reliable over the years. 1. 2. The information itself that I am getting has to be reliable, the source. So I will have to check the website of the authorized people to ensure that my information is reliable. If I'm not getting it from their direct website, I am getting it from a website that they have authorized to do that. We have example of people who are reporting. We have Nigerian Weekly Law Reports. We have a Federation Weekly Law Reports. We have different law reports, even electronic law reports here in Nigeria. So, these are decisions of the court. I was not in court when these judgments were delivered. But these people are now reliable sources from where I can get the decision of the court. So if I am looking for a law report, what is the judge? What was the decision of the court in ABC case? In the case of ABC versus GDF, instead of going to the Supreme Court to search, I can go check Nigerian Weekly Law Reports. I can check Federation Weekly Law Reports. I can check Law Pavilion Electronic Law Reports because they are reliable. Now, somebody might have cited that case in his book, in a textbook. I will not rely on what the person cited in the textbook. because the person has not been authorized by Supreme Court or Court of Appeal to report their cases. So I will check the authorized people reliability here. Is that clear? Then you also check the website. That's what dovetails to security. If you check the website, HPPTS, that S there means security. Is it a secured source? The website I'm getting this information from, is it a reliable source? There are fraudsters on the prowl on the internet trying to clone. Even some may put the same website. If you don't look well, you will not notice that there is just it could just be one letter difference. So the source I am getting this information, is it a reliable source? Then we talk about organization. When you enter open and when you open the website, you even look at how the information here is littered everywhere. There is no sense of organization. There is no sense of order. If you are typing, you don't know whether to search alphabetically, you don't know whether to search chronologically, you don't know whether to search based on subject matter. You don't even know, you are confused as you are looking at it because there is no order. It is not organized. But when you approach a website that is organized, you now see that they will give you leads as to how to search. You want to search alphabetically. You want to search chronologically, each year, the year the law was passed, year by year. You want to search based on subject matter. That we provide those guides or leads for you. So these principles are very important. Before you put out any information, before you rely on any information to use as your draft, you need to ensure that these 8 principles, that the information you want to use have passed these 8 tests or 8 principles, have passed it. Then you can rely on that information and do your job. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be wrapping up the class here. We have only 4 minutes, so we might be logged out at any time. Look out for your assignments. Prof had said it here. These 8 principles, what we just did here, we have actually answered your assignment question. But we need you to write this question or answers and submit to Prof. What are the 8 principles to be relied upon or to be used while conducting a research using ICT in legislative drafting? So that is the assignment. On Monday, we meet again and we enter week 3 with a new topic. So let me check who is joined.